the 31st of January. Just gonna ramble about some stuff. That was funny. I guess it was last night. I haven't responded to the comment yet, but someone's like, what do you think about that? Islanders Bo Horvat trade. I was like, oh shit, what? I looked it up. So they traded Anthony Bolivier, Rattay, Archer, I don't know his name, and a conditional pick. I think it's top 12 protected. So if the Islanders end up choosing in the top 12 in the draft, for this year's draft, they'll keep it. But if it falls out, it goes to the Canucks. I kind of like the trade. The only one, because the pick's protected, so if it ends up at 12, fine. You don't like to give up first-round picks, and the Islanders gave up last year's as well in a trade. But I think the key is extending Horvat because he's a free agent. And a lot of people are saying, well, Lamoriello probably has an extension in place because he wouldn't have given up what he did. If he didn't, who knows? Bolivier's a decent player. He's not spectacular. I feel like he's a third liner. He might. I don't even know if he's on the third line with the Islanders. But Rattay is the one. He's only played 12 games in his career. He's young. He's only 20. He was their pick in 21, I believe. He's got 2 goals. He could end up being a solid player, so he's kind of the wild card in that trade for sure. I think it works out for both teams because, I mean, it's stupid to say, but it almost, well, the Islanders could still miss the playoffs and end up giving up like a 15th pick, 16th pick, which kind of sucks. If Horvat signs the extension, it's what they need. He's actually ripping it up this year, but he has 31 goals this year. He had 31 last year. Other than that, I think his high was 27. He's obviously a better player than Bolivier. Like I said, Rattay, you don't know what he's going to be. He's obviously only played 12 games. And the pick you don't know about. If the Canucks get that pick, you don't know who it's going to turn out to be. If the Islanders end up keeping the pick, same thing. But they needed a goal scorer, and he's a better goal scorer than both those guys that they traded at the moment. So I kind of like the deal. I think it works out for both teams. It works out even better for the Canucks if they end up getting the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th pick. If it's a higher first-round pick, that means the Islanders would have made the playoffs, so that the Islanders got what they needed, right, to get to the playoffs, making that kind of trade. But that still becomes a trade piece for the Canucks anyway. If they end up getting a higher first-round pick, they'd have 2 first-rounders, so they need to make a move, and he made one. Horvat's having his best year. Of course, it's a contract year. Players always have every sport have their best season, a contract season, but he was always a solid player, though, and Bolivier will not be better than Horvat. Because Bolivier's already been in the league since 16, 17. So he's been around a little bit. Horvat's been in there since, maybe 14, I don't know, 13 or 14, maybe 13, 14 was his first year. I like it, though. Put him on the line with Barzal and hope he starts keeps ringing up goals. Barzal puts him in good positions to score even more goals, but we'll see how it turns out. If they re-sign him, perfect. If they can sign him to an extension, that's great. If they don't, he's a rental. If you miss the playoffs, then it's a Ryan Smith situation back when they traded for Ryan Smith from the Oilers and ended up making the playoffs. It was 06, 07, I believe. They made the playoffs in the last game of the season, too, I was pretty sure. And he ended up leaving. And they traded a bunch of dudes for him, and it was a rental for a first-round exit. That happens again. You've given up players, and if you miss the playoffs, you'll still have your pick. But if you end up giving him like a 15th or 16th pick, you're giving him a pick. You're giving him 2 players, and Horvat's leaving, so that's a disaster. So we'll see what happens. At the moment, they're pushing. They've actually won 2 in a row, and they don't score goals. Even with the 2 wins, they scored 2 goals each game. They won 2-0 and 2-1, so they still need the goaltending to be ridiculous. Palmieri's back too, though, and is playing all right, so hopefully that helps as well. Super Bowl set. Chiefs, Eagles. Should be a good one, honestly. I think any one of those matches would have been good. Although if the 49ers somehow eked out a victory because Purdy got hurt early. And then he had to come back in because the other quarterback got hurt, but he couldn't throw because his elbow was messed up. So they were screwed. Eagles are good. Chiefs are good. The Bengals-Chiefs game was tight. I think they got a field goal right because that dude just like pushed Mahomes when he's already out of bounds. Cost him 15 yards. Now that set up the Chiefs winning in regulation. If that didn't happen, it probably would have went to OT. That's not to say the Bengals would have won, but he stopped them from having a shot to possibly get to OT and win. Whatever it happens, I mean, I don't think he did it on purpose. I think the game moves fast. What are you going to do? It probably happened 30 to 40 times this year throughout the season. People getting those kind of penalties. It was a good game, though, so they're good. That's a nice rivalry there brewing between those two teams. It should be a good game, though. They're both the number one. They're both one seed, so I think that will be a pretty good Super Bowl. What else was I going to say? Oh, I picked up. Speaking of football, I used to collect. If people know, and I've talked about it a little bit already in a video. I might have shown tell once. Back in the day, starting in 1988, they started putting out starting lineup figures. They were little figures that were like of players in all the three sports. NHL introduced their starting lineup. Well, they introduced NHL starting lineups in '93. I had a ton of these things when I was a kid. From like 88 to like 91, I would get them a lot. And I actually had 94 would have been the last year I got them. But I had a bunch of unopened ones that I had sold maybe like 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago even. I remember it was like Eric Carros. These are 94 ones, basketball and baseball specifically. Eric Carros, Albert Bell. There was a Travis Fryman in there, but he was, I think, from a year or two before. For some reason, that one was still sealed. There's Charles Barkley, Dominique Wilkins, Sean Elliott, Plastic Man, Stacey Augman. I love Stacey Augman. A couple other ones. But and I still have the one I showed in that video. I found it when I was cleaning out the garage in Massapequa when we were getting rid of more stuff before the house sold. The Isaiah Thomas from '88 was in the garage in this cabinet. I was hoping there'd be more, and there was just him. I had a ton of them across all 4 sports. I had the most football ones, probably. But anyway, they're not overly expensive on eBay anymore. I picked up a few earlier in the year. I picked up a lot of ones that were, not a lot, 3, that were well after I would have been getting them. A Terrell Davis from '98, a Plummer from '98 or after, and a Pavel Bure. I only had one hockey one back in the day. I have 3 still that I had when I was a kid. Well, the Isaiah Thomas was when I was a kid because I picked up a Griffey Jr. rookie one in Canada in '94. It was like $50 US. I still have that one, but the thing's cracked on the plastic. And I picked up, I think that same year, I picked up a Brett Hull one, NHL one, because I saw they made NHL ones, wow, because I hadn't known, and I picked that one up. I still have those 3. Like I said, I picked up a Plummer Bore. I'm like, I'm going to pick these up, because I really liked them. They're cool little collectibles, right? They're not like the McFarlane figures are like super detailed and stuff, but these guys, I don't know, something bad. But anyway, I picked up a classic doubles Terrell Davis. I want to say this is 98 as well. Maybe it's not. 99. So you have me here in the pros and here in college. You went to Georgia. They have these for other guys too, like Marino. I think Troy Aikman might have one. Jake Plummer has one. Elway has one. I will eventually open this, but this was like 13 and change after tax, so pretty good price. I just like the figures. There's not much to them, but some of the poses are cool. But I don't know. Here's some more on the back that must have come out that year. Zach Thomas, Corbett, Brunel, Kaufman. Because I like Plummer when he's on Denver, so this is back when he's on the Cardinals, though. Warren Sapp, Cordell Stewart, Robert Smith. That's pretty cool. I want to keep picking those up. Specific players and stuff. Like I'd like to get Clyde Drexler. I had Drexler back when I was a kid, I remember. The only ones that are overly expensive are like the original year ones. The 88s. If they're sealed. Still in their package, those can go for a lot. You know, you could spend maybe 30 on one, but like Clyde Drexler, Sean Kemp, Barry Sanders, or something like that in Elway. I used to have so many of those things. I want to get Warren Moon because I love the old Oiler helmets. I had Warren Moon, Jim Kelly, Elway, Thurman Thomas, Irving Fryer, Willie Gault, Lawrence Taylor, Deion Sanders. I don't know if I had a Marino. I had Pat Swilling. I remember Pat Swilling on the Saints. Emmitt Smith, I believe I had. Freeman McNeil, Altoon. Guys like Dave Meggett. I had a ton. I probably had the least amount of, well, it would have been hockey because I only had the one, but basketball from the 3 back then. I had a good amount of baseball ones as well, but football is probably the most. Who else did I have in football? Jerry Rice. Tim Brown, I believe I had a Tim Brown. Keith Byers. I remember having Keith Byers. And there was a receiver on the Eagles. Mike Quick was a receiver on the Eagles. I had him. I had a lot of those things. I wouldn't go back and get all those because it'd be too expensive. It's kind of cool going and getting later ones back. Oh, look at Peyton Manning, stuff like that. I think they made him up until like 2000. Like the original kind of series. They also had other ones too, like bigger ones that whatever still weren't as good as a McFarlane, but I do remember having Drexler for some reason. I remember having Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Patrick Ewing. Like I said, I had those ones from '94, but I never opened them, so I think maybe my mom might have grabbed some from Christmas still for me because I did like those things. They were cool to just collect them. Because you couldn't really do much with them, like football. Like when you're younger, you could play with them a little bit, but they were kind of meant to just be displayed. Howie Long. I'm like remembering the poses they would have. Like, John Randall, I believe I had the guy in the Vikings. I just had a lot of football ones. I want to talk about this game I started playing. I played it briefly, and the controls were very clunky, and it didn't save. I was maybe like 15 minutes in, and then I played it again, and I've been enjoying it actually, and it's Phobia Hotel. I don't know how to say that, but this is a cool, old school survival horror game. Like, we're talking like serious Resident Evil. The controls are, it's when you're doing stuff, it's fine, but when you, like, your character moves slow. His name's Roberto Lopez. He's a journalist. He goes to this hotel in this town, and he's investigating this weird stuff. You start in the beginning using another character from like the 60s, I believe, and you're in a prison, like, and you hide your notes. You hide him in the prison cell. So I assume I'm gonna find that at some point. And then you get killed by this guy. He's like a weird See, on this guy, he's also appeared in. He was chasing me briefly in the hotel. This person here, this kid, she's popped up. This game is, she has like powers. Like she appeared and like this thing came at me. It's like a one-shot kill thing. It was like this weird orb, and I had to move back the second time. There's these bug enemies, and there's these other things. I guess these humans turn into these weird things. You gotta shoot them in the heart. The combat is, it's just very clunky. It's like almost like they just borrowed from old Silent Hills as well, but Resident Evil in particular. There's an item chest where you can swap items in and out because you can have inventory. You can find little backpacks that will expand your inventory. I think I'm about 3 or 4 hours in. I just got a little button to go to floor 3. This game's actually pretty creepy though. There was a cool part where it was this character. There was a part in the 6th floor. You're in the 6th floor in the hotel, and then shit starts going wrong. And now you're going all over the hotel, and the hotel's all destroyed. You like black out, and all of a sudden you wake up and everything's gone wrong. There's a part that's on fire, and I was on the other end of that hallway, and I happened to turn around, and I'm looking at the fire, and there's a figure down there, and it was her. And I got closer. I was like, oh, that's creepy from a distance. So it does pretty well with that. It's a classic game where this coach, you gotta find interesting puzzles in this game too. You have a camera that when you use it, there's like all of a sudden you're in a regular bathroom, but if you use it, the wall's destroyed and you can walk through. So the camera gives you clues and it gives you paths of where you go. It's very enjoyable. The combat is not good, but I like it. I also played as another guy, Christopher. He was in the hotel when I checked in. Now this guy apparently has been alive for a while, and you go back in time. I guess when I think it's like a cult type town, religious like cult type thing, and he was there, and I had to do some stuff real briefly with him because he had this sphere and stuff. I think eventually he became the leader of this thing or something. I don't know. Story's playing out, but it's actually pretty cool. It's a nice throwback. I'm glad I threw it in again, and I've given it some action. Yeah, it says it here on the back too. You explore a decadent hotel across different timelines. Oh yeah, it says it right on the back. And uncover the dark history of a fanatical cult and your role in their plans. And a twisting narrative full of puzzles, conspiracies, and otherworldly horrors. I will say the bugs are cool and they kind of jump on you. It's like, oh god, all of a sudden it pops in a nice jump scare. The other creatures I've seen so far are very kind of bland looking. They'll run at you too, and it's like, oh god. I was shooting this one directly in the heart, and it took like 6 shots, and I was getting annoyed. Because you gotta find bullets. It's one of those games where bullets are scarce. So you kind of want to avoid them. But I would check this out. I think it's a $30 game. I think that's what I paid for it. Because I remember when I saw it came out, I'm like, oh, it looks interesting. And it actually is pretty cool, though. You don't get a lot of this kind of action anymore. I mean, it was the PS2, GameCube, Xbox era. It was everywhere. Yeah, check this out if you're into survival horror and stuff. But yeah, January's done. On to February, more videos. I got a video up every month, every day this month, every day this month. I might do a Klondike bar eating video. I got Klondikes the other day from Stop and Shop. I remember I got the request and I did the games I completed in 2022. I was going to do this actually today, but I said, I want to do a Ramble instead. So I might do it like at the end of February, maybe do it like every 2 months and build up some games that I've completed and do it like every 2 months. Like, oh, games I completed in January, February, March, April, stuff like that. Because if I beat a bunch this year, I'm not going to want to do it at the end of the year and do like, 50 games, 40, 50 games in a video. It'd be too long. do the second prop show and tell. I need to do that. I'll do February. I want to do I'll be doing the third part of the Relax series in the house. I'll do that early February. I got a couple ideas for that one. Third episode. I'm really glad people are liking that. I did one of those similar videos a while back, maybe 3 years ago, and it didn't do as well, so I'm glad it's doing better now. That's why I almost want to do some of the older videos that when I had a low sub count, the people liked them, but it didn't get a lot of views, and the newer subs aren't seeing it. Because then you gotta go back. I have playlists, but you gotta go back for some videos. I have over 1,000 videos, which is crazy to think about. Loud truck. I kind of want to redo some of those ones that I can. Yeah, I still got to do another gameplay. I don't know what it is with me and doing gameplays to where I'm like, I'm going to do a gameplay and I just don't do it. I don't know why I don't do it. I got to try to get 2 up in February. We'll see if it happens. I was actually watching on eBay. I might pick it up next month. A box of 91 NFL Upper Deck football cards. I used to have those back in the day. I think I still have a few of them. Like the Brett Favre and stuff, but it's cheap. It's like you can get a box for like $30. 36 cards, 36 packs, 12 packs, 12 cards per pack. You don't get that in card boxes anymore. I think the Upper Deck hockeys are like 24 packs at 8 cards a pack. Also back in the day, because now they split, at least, I don't know if they do it in the other sports, but in hockey they split it into 2 series. Back then they'd split it into high and low, and the high series was maybe 100 to 200 cards, but the low series would be like a 500 card set. So you'd need 12 cards per pack and a 36, and that still wouldn't be enough. You'd need by 2 or 3 boxes, counting all the doubles you're going to get. What else will I do? And it's only single player too, which is nice sometimes to see. Single player only. I feel like it's becoming rare. Oh, the GoldenEye came out on the Switch and the Xbox, the original one. I want to say they have multiplayer built into both. I'm not sure though. Somebody was like, "Oh, you should do a video on it." Whenever I get Game Pass again, I will throw up a GoldenEye video. Single player, obviously, but I could just borrow the game. My friend still has the game. I could just borrow it from him and do the N64 as well. Hogwarts Legacy, it comes out in like a week or two. It got delayed on the Xbox One and the PS4. That game looks cool. Dead Space Remake, I think, is out. And I think that's only on PS5 and Xbox Series S, X or S. I loved the first Dead Space back in the game. I'm really messing up today. Back in the day. I remember I got that in 2008, I believe that came out. Awesome atmosphere. I didn't find the game necessarily that creepy, but the atmosphere was great. The action was awesome. The gameplay was really good in that game. What's the guy's name using it? Isaac. I don't even think he talks in the first one, then he starts talking in the second. He's definitely talking in the third. The Callisto Protocol was made by some of the people that did that game. What the hell? that game didn't review necessarily that well. It was very mediocre, but it was similar to the Dead Space. But whenever I do get a hold of one of the new systems, I'm gonna pick that up. Resident Evil 4 remake comes out in March. That I'm really excited about. I really want them to do the Code Veronica remake though. There's some other stuff too coming out that looks interesting. What's another one? I forget. Let's see if a new Elder Scrolls ever comes out. Oh, Xbox just had a thing the other day. Did they announce an Elder Scrolls or that Indiana Jones game? I don't know. Let me know if anyone watched that. Make some sounds here. Scratch on the wallet. It's not a bad tap either. Same thing for now as well. I'm going to what I did with the. I'm going to do a video game pickup at the end of the month with all the games I had because I'm not going to be picking up that many. Then when the garage sales come around, I'll be doing bigger ones. Probably end this here in a minute or two. Maybe get it to a half hour. Maybe next month I'll do another hour-long ramble. Oh, we watched that. Did I say that already? We watched that movie, Megan. It's a pretty good, funny horror comedy. Have I been playing anything else other than Phobia? I don't know. Well, I completed The Last of Us Remastered, and then I started playing the DLC on it a little bit. And I think I jumped into Phobia. I kind of want to play something on the Xbox. I have enough games I haven't completed on there, so I figured I'd go back to that. I still need to do. Somebody was asking about doing a fax video. I still need to do one of those. Maybe I'll get one of those up in February. I don't know what I'd do it on, but I'll just find a fax thing on my phone and talk about it. Maybe I'll do one of those early February. We'll see. I say I'm going to do a lot of things, and like I remember I tried to do like, oh, I'm going to schedule, I'm going to do this video, even though it never works. I need to just do it how I do it, you know. I will say for sure, there's definitely going to be another 2 at least of that video series I was doing. I want to do at least 5 in that one. I have an ending in mind, but I might not go with it. I like it, but I'm going to see if I can come up with something better. I mean, the one I have in mind makes sense for all the other shady type videos that I've done and stuff. Yeah. Some good movies finally coming out. I want to see Knock at the Cabin. I want to see, we're going to see that. We're going to see Scream 6. The new Indiana Jones, that's coming out to like June or something. The new Mission Impossible looks good. There's another horror-ish, Evil Dead Rise looks alright. I don't know if I'd see it in the theater though. There's something else. I can't remember. But anyway, just a half hour long ramble here today. Talking about some specific